ain't here for a long time, here for a short time.
And I think, Cam, that's the thing that gets me so upset, is that people that have so much to say about Shannon Sharpe has never met Shannon. Never had one conversation with me. They tell me what I like, who I date, what I'm doing, but they've never seen me out.
Yeah.
They've never heard anybody. I mean, one person says this, and then another person picks it up on social media, and they take it and run with it as it being true.
Right.
So tell me the time that you had a conversation, that you had a conversation with Shannon Sharpe, or someone that knew Shannon Sharpe.
Acute Shannon Sharpe is navigating the difficult reality of becoming a celebrity, which comes with many challenges. Shannon's current issues have materialized as Cat Williams' prognosis, which she stated just a few months ago, that some in the business are unhappy with the Shannon's podcast. Club Shay has recently gained a lot of notoriety and listeners. In an interview, he said that many celebrities have been trying to get publicity for his program, with some even threatening to sue him.
I went back and I'm like, damn, he said that? Where was I? He was saying so much that I'm like, but Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said, this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
He said,
but my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
yes. He told me, and my guy Jordan is over there. He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get, that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened.
Furthermore, he said that some attendees who had at first expressed enthusiasm about being on his program had suddenly retreated without offering a justification for their choice. Even though everyone knows that the entertainment world can be quite poisonous, Shannon has revealed in an interview with Cam Newton that she is experiencing something that is completely abnormal. Shannon spoke candidly about the difficult challenges he has had while discussing the controversy that has engulfed him since his chat with Cat Williams went viral earlier this year. Shannon always makes sure to ask his visitors if there are any subjects they would rather not discuss. By doing this, he can make sure that his guests feel at ease and free to be themselves. Shannon's podcast frequently has famous people as guests, and part of the reason for this is that these people are willing to share their tales.
That's not what I am, Cam. I'm having a conversation. Me and a guest is having a conversation. I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guest that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate if we not talk about this.
Right.
Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe.
Shannon makes his visitors feel comfortable by emphasizing that, unlike the usual journalist, he is not and has never sought to be one. After retiring from football, he tried to pass himself off as a journalist. If you were ignorant, Shannon started working as a commentator for CBS Sports NFL Today in 2013, where he also did the Sprint halftime report and the Subway post-game show. In 2011, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and before joining Clutch, he worked as a columnist and spokesperson for Fitness RX for Men's Magazine. He was even featured on the cover. Shannon possessed a great deal of knowledge in the field of podcasting. Thus, his decision to begin doing so on the second episode of Shannon's podcast, Nightcap, featuring former NFL player Chad Johnson and renowned NBA superstar Gilbert Arenas are featured on the other side. Club Shay has a greater fan base, which can be attributed in large part to the viral interviews that feature celebrities such as Cat Williams. Following his retirement from professional athletics in the year 2020, Shannon discovered a new passion for podcasting. While Evelyn was in the epidemic, she founded Club Shade with the intention of creating a space where African-American artists could openly share their stories without worrying about receiving negative feedback. Shannon, who describes himself as a conversationalist as opposed to a journalist, had no clue that his podcast would have such a large following in 2024. Despite having prior media experience, Shannon met Cat Williams' new manager, who connected him with the comic, and after a year of fruitless efforts, Cat was finally featured on the show.
Downs, you see what I'm saying?
Kim, I've been trying to line Cat up for a year. I tried to line him up for a year. People don't know this, but Cat doesn't like to fly. He normally takes the bus. He takes a tour bus pretty much everywhere he goes. And so he wasn't gonna be on that side of town in LA, in California. Right hand to God. I go to my agent's office on a Friday. I'm getting off the elevator. As I'm getting off the elevator, a lady's getting on.
Right.
She said, hello. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Shannon Sharpe. She tells me her name. She's like, I've never seen you here before. I said, yeah, my attorney's here, Marvin. She said, oh, I love Marvin. I love Allison, who's his daughter. She said, oh, I said, I've never seen you here. I said, I've been coming here 3-4 years. I've never seen you. She said, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just not meeting you. She said, today is my last day. I said, what? She said, yeah, today is my last day. I said, you got a new job? She said, I'm leaving to be Cat Williams' tour manager.
Wow.
I said, I've been trying to get Cat for a year. That was a Friday. The next Friday, Cat sitting in that chair.
Shannon greatly understated the seriousness of the Cat Williams episode, even though the industry had seen a number of scandals and crises. Cat accused Kevin Hart of being a business operative during the interview, which deeply affected viewers. He started by casting doubt on Kevin's story of his upbringing on the East Coast, implying that it was extremely unlikely that he would go on to pursue a career in that field. Kevin's remarkable success in the business seemed to come out of nowhere, raising questions about his sudden rise to fame in Los Angeles after living on the East Coast. It was to be anticipated given the duration of their ongoing conflict that Kevin seemed to materialize out of nowhere. And Cat passionately criticized Kevin Hart for landing big jobs and TV parts that other comedians took years to get. Cat also accuses Kevin of becoming a gatekeeper and assisting other suspected industry plants such as Tiffany Haddish in their climb to popularity. At the same time, Cat also mentioned that the industry makes an effort to discredit and demonize him, as she described in her previous statement. According to appearances, Shannon Sharpe is experiencing the same pattern as when Cat warned Shannon about using it during his earlier visitation to Club Shade this year podcast as a platform for truth tellers, but he never expected the level of animosity he is facing. While some guests who were initially thrilled to be on the show have abruptly withdrawn, others, like Steve Harvey, are actively working to have Shannon's show cancelled due to the negative feedback he has received about the way he interviews people, especially considering that Steve has already appeared on Club Shade. The fact that Steve Harvey participated in the interview was a major factor in the interview's success in going viral. In that particular episode, they discussed various aspects of lifestyle, as well as insights into the industry, as is common for interviews of this kind. Club Shade often does entertaining interviews, but on a few occasions, Shannon has received hate mail. For example, he was, after his interview with Amanda Seales, which was widely criticized. Amanda talked about her experiences with autism and the challenges she faced, particularly as a Black girl growing up in America. At one point, Shannon seemed to be attempting to gaslight Amanda by implying that she was exaggerating when Amanda mentioned that her mother had noticed how differently her mind worked and had recognized the symptoms of autism.
To run Shimoto, and my mom is like, that's Amanda. Like, let her live.
Right.
And let's be real, most parents.
That wasn't happening.
No, shut it up. If my father had lived with me, I would never have been the person I am now, because he wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I believe that he is autistic too. He's because he's brilliant.
Right.
He was never seen the way he needed to be seen, and so it turned into narcissism.
But you can be brilliant without being autistic though, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
1000%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But just
because I'm both.
But
I'm gifted and autistic.
Yes, but Amanda, sometimes, just because you have a special gift, that doesn't mean that, you have a spectrum, or you have just because you see things differently, it doesn't mean that you're on the spectrum or you...
This isn't related to simply how I see things. This is related to how my brain functions.
Yes.
Yes, Amanda also noticed that there were no other Black students in the class. The need to correct a teacher who she felt had made a historically incorrect statement, along with the instructor's racist reaction, caused a chaotic and unfair parent-teacher conference. However, Shannon, who disagreed with her position, and stated that students in his own country never corrected their professors under any circumstances, suggested that the teacher's reaction may not have been racist but rather a feeling of being disrespected. Although both viewpoints seemed reasonable, fans later accused Shannon of gaslighting. The controversy surrounding Shannon and his podcast serves as a reminder of the challenges of handling the public's opinion and the media's coverage of delicate subjects, particularly when engaging in conversations with prominent figures. Amanda brought up Shannon's uncomfortable exchange, but it went on without incident after that. Judgmental nature, which he denied on his podcast, Amanda came to the conclusion that although Shannon is cool, he isn't cut out for in-depth discussions like these. Instead of pushing his personal opinions, she urged that he should stick to entertaining, light-hearted and humorous interviews. And listen more in a recent interview. Talking with Cam Newton, when Shannon spoke about the response, he said that if this was the only interview that people weren't thrilled with his channel. So here's a peek at some of the current unrest surrounding Shannon Sharpe, including legal challenges and industry reactions despite the popularity of Club Chash, which features candid and thought-provoking discussions. Whether it's conflicts with powerful figures in the business like Harvey or handling sensitive topics with visitors, Shannon's journey demonstrated the complexity of fame, and Shannon has been the target of threats and criticism in the media industry, particularly after his viral Cat Williams episode. His direct interview style has also drawn criticism, as seen in the scene with Amanda Seales. Despite this, Shannon has remained strong, taking on the problems head-on and working to provide a forum for Black performers to tell their stories. Supporters have praised him, saying that those in the industry are envious. The fans even went so far as to say that Cat did all the talking, but the cowards are blaming Shannon because they are kittens. Now, I want to know what you think about this. Why do you think that everyone is abandoning Shannon? What are the possible reasons for this? Please share your thoughts with us. I love your show, Shannon. Another fan added, saying that a successful Black man is a major threat. The following comments